stalked and he searched and he looked and he's been around the block watching, and he got her.
Now, family members are planning Camille's funeral just weeks after her 34th birthday.
To the world, take domestic violence seriously. You know,
Amen.
Reach out to somebody. I don't know if the police can help you all the time. Get out of the relationship. Escape if you can.
Mariah Samuels was a vibrant 34-year-old woman who lived with purpose, pride, and passion. A devoted mother of two, she was the kind of woman whose presence lifted the mood of any room she walked into. Her beauty was undeniable, but it was her warmth, strength, and sincerity that people remember most. She was also a successful dog groomer, well known in her community for her professionalism, compassion, and her deep love for animals. She had built a strong clientele over the years, not just because of her skills, but because of the way she treated every pet as if it were her own. Her work wasn't just a job, it was part of who she was. She found joy in it, and that joy was contagious. Mariah had recently celebrated her 34th birthday, a milestone she chose to honor with intention and happiness. She traveled out of the country with one of her closest friends, treating herself to a well-deserved break and a chance to reset. She documented parts of her trip on Facebook, sharing smiling selfies, videos, and heartfelt captions that reflected the peace and joy she felt in those moments. Her followers cheered her on, happy to see her glowing, laughing, and living freely. But behind the smiles and sunshine, there was a storm brewing. After soaring on the natural high of her birthday getaway, Mariah's final Facebook post would serve as a chilling echo of the truth she was living, a deadly blueprint of her final hours. Shortly before 8 a.m. on the morning of September 14th, officers from the Minneapolis Police Department were dispatched to a residence near the intersection of North 14th Street and Russell Avenue, located in the heart of the Willard Hay neighborhood. The call had come in reporting a possible shooting. When officers arrived on the scene, they were met with a deeply troubling sight. An adult female, unresponsive and motionless, was discovered lying just steps from her vehicle. The victim was identified as 34-year-old Mariah Samuels, who was sadly pronounced dead at the scene after succumbing to multiple gunshot wounds. Hauntingly, just minutes after posting about the domestic violence she faced, just hours before she was found shot. Less than an hour before she was killed, Mariah wrote on her Facebook page that her ex-boyfriend had threatened her family and damaged her car. She also posted a video that she says shows him hitting her several times. Her family said she had dated the man for a few months before she broke up with him. He stalked and he searched and he looked and had been around the block watching. It began when Mariah entered a relationship with a man named David Wright. David had recently been released after serving a long prison sentence and often posted about his time behind bars on social media. He carried with him a hardened mentality shaped by years of incarceration. One rooted in control, dominance, and emotional volatility. Despite early red flags, Mariah, with her open heart, decided to give him a chance, perhaps believing in growth and redemption. At first, their relationship appeared affectionate and passionate. They were public about their love, sharing pictures and messages online, seemingly wrapped up in each other. But as is often the case with toxic relationships, that passion quickly turned into possession. David began to reveal controlling and abusive tendencies. He was jealous, obsessive, and easily triggered. His love was conditional and suffocating. Mariah started to see who he really was, someone deeply insecure and emotionally unstable. When she tried to distance herself, David became increasingly aggressive. In his eyes, leaving the relationship was a betrayal, something he would not tolerate. He saw Mariah not as an individual with freedom, but as someone he owned. When she attempted to cut ties, David escalated. He stalked her at all hours, even showing up at her home in the middle of the night. He posted old photos of them together on social media, alternating between emotional manipulation and violent rants. Mariah did what so many survivors bravely do. She sought help. She filed for protective orders. She spoke up. She tried to shield herself and her children from the man who had once said he loved her. He didn't stop. He sent her long, emotional messages, some apologizing for past abuse, others blaming her for his pain. When she didn't reply, the tone shifted. Insults, accusations, and cruel threats. The emotional abuse was relentless, but Mariah held her ground. She began using her voice to warn others, posting publicly about what she was experiencing. One of her posts read, "The night before last, I got threatened with a gun and hands put on me because I wanted to break up. My spirit is broken, but that's temporary. Y'all be safe out there, though." Another said, "Hit, punch, slap, push, whatever you want to call it. No man can call himself a man after putting his hands on a woman. Replace the word man with coward." She hoped the truth would push him away. She hoped exposure would protect her, but instead, it enraged him. As he realized she was truly done with him, David spiraled. Convinced she had moved on, possibly with someone else, he became even more dangerous. He stalked her with increasing boldness. The protective orders meant nothing to him. The law offered no safety. Just hours before the final, heartbreaking moment, Mariah posted one last message. "I was trying to stay silent, but stalking me at 4 a.m, and the police ain't doing anything, besides serve him with a protective order, and clearly, it's not doing anything." That would be her last post. Shortly afterward, David ambushed Mariah outside her home. In a horrifying act of violence, he opened fire, not once, not twice, but 10 times, taking her life in an explosion of rage and control. He made sure no one else would ever have her. Mariah did everything she was supposed to. She followed the rules, sought help, and reached out to authorities. Yet, like far too many others, the system meant to protect her failed in the most devastating way. It's a harsh reality we're forced to acknowledge. Sometimes, even official documentation, a police report, a restraining order, a desperate 911 call, isn't enough to save a life. In the weeks leading up to her tragic death, Mariah's loved ones, family and friends alike, repeatedly raised the alarm. They filed reports, made urgent phone calls, and begged for intervention. But despite their efforts, Mariah was shot and killed. The day after her murder, those who cherished her gathered at the site of the tragedy to create a memorial, honoring not only her life, but also the pain and resilience that marked her final days. Just weeks after celebrating what should have been her 34th birthday, her family now faces the unimaginable task of planning her funeral. In the wake of their loss, they issued a heartfelt plea to the world. Take domestic violence seriously. Reach out to someone. Don't assume the system will always protect you. If you're in danger, get out. Escape if you can. Your life is worth saving.
My niece was gunned down by a violent ex-boyfriend that she put a restraining order on.
Raya Samuels walked outside her home around 8 o'clock Sunday morning. In a split second, everything changed.
And he ambushed her and shot her not 5 times, but 10 times, right here in front of her house. Oh, my niece.
Her family says she tried to jump in her car to get away, but the suspect shot and killed her. It happened near the intersection of Russell Avenue North and 14th Avenue. Minneapolis police believes the shooting was a domestic incident.
My niece is a beautiful, vibrant, stuck to herself, always made sure she was a dog groomer.
Samuels just turned 34 years old last month. Her family celebrated her birthday with her 2 children. Now they're planning her funeral.
It's unbelievable that she was just the last person that should have ever happened to.
Family members believe Samuel's ex-boyfriend is responsible for the killing. Her aunt says Samuel's filed a restraining order against him.
Mariah will be the fourth woman in our family that was murdered by someone that said that they loved them.
The family is pushing for change, calling for more resources to protect domestic violence victims.
Believe the red flags. Do not underestimate. Do not think he won't do it to me. Call the police. If the police are not doing anything, go above and beyond. Protect yourselves at all costs.
50-year-old David Wright was arrested and charged with 1 count of second-degree murder and 1 count of illegal possession of a firearm. The story of Mariah Samuels is a heartbreaking reminder that following the rules and seeking help doesn't always guarantee safety, especially when it comes to domestic violence. Despite doing everything she could, reaching out for help, having loved ones report the danger, and trusting in the system, Mariah still lost her life. Her story highlights the urgent need for society to take domestic violence more seriously and to recognize that warning signs often go unheard or unheeded. It's a call to action for communities to be more vigilant, for systems to respond more effectively, and for individuals in abusive situations to know that their safety may depend on seeking help beyond traditional channels. Mariah's death is not just a tragedy. It's a lesson in the life and death importance of listening, acting, and believing victims before it's too late. Rest in peace, Mariah Samuels.
It really was a lot of emotions, a lot of tears today. David Wright, like you mentioned, voluntarily walked into the courtroom today without shackles, a very different scene than what played out on Friday, where his seat in court remained empty. Now, today marked take 2 for the sentencing of Wright, convicted of first-degree premeditated murder for the killing of Mariah Samuels. He was supposed to be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole on Friday, but refused to leave his jail cell. The judge in that case decided not to issue a drag order to force him to come, instead opting to reschedule the sentencing for today. Several family members spoke out about their memories of Mariah, a proud mother of 2 boys who loved animals. Some also had some words for the judge in his decision to reschedule the sentencing instead of forcing Wright to attend the hearing on Friday.
I was blindsided by your decision because I thought to myself, the same way he dragged my sister out of her vehicle after he wounded her body with 21 shots, how come you couldn't drag him up here?
Now, the family also raised concerns about law enforcement's actions before Samuel's murder, as she had an order of protection against Wright. Samuel's posting on Facebook about police's inaction just minutes before she was shot and killed in front of her father's home last September. Now,